let's dive right into how I would build my program if I needed or wanted to improve my English really fast for work. So I hope you've watched part 1 and you've got your mindset right. If not, I do advise going back and starting there, but let's keep going for now. So we're in the preparation stage of the cycle of the English learning. We know what we need to do. Now let's work out how we're going to do it. And just a very small reminder, we're going to create small mini projects. We're not going to make this overwhelming. We're not going to make it too long. We're going to keep our motivation levels high and we're going to keep really focused. So we might try to increase functional language for presentations, the introductions, the transitions, the closing. We may look to improve our communication skills for describing data. Maybe we talk a lot about presentations and we have to talk about our data. We could just be looking to increase our vocabulary around critical minerals. That is the hot topic of the industry at the moment. Maybe we just want to increase our English so that we can nail our job interviews and get the job that we're looking for. A 10 or a 12-week program is ideal in my experience. The first thing we need to do is schedule some time. What time do I have available each week to commit to learning English? It doesn't need to be a lot, but we do need to write it down. Actually, the moment we write something down, it is fixed in our brain differently, and the commitment is so much higher. So I definitely recommend getting a weekly schedule drawn up and written down. And what are we going to want to cover? Well, there are the 4 skills in English: reading, listening, speaking, and writing. Let's start with reading. 15 minutes, aim for 15 minutes a day, even 10 minutes a day. Every day or 6 days a week is going to make big changes to your English. So Monday, maybe I'll wake up 15 minutes early and do a little bit of reading. On Tuesday, I'm going to practice my listening. Then Wednesday, I'll get a bit productive. Maybe I'll write 15 minutes, an email, something like that. Thursday, speaking. That can be a bit harder, but not impossible. I'm going to find a way to speak for 15 minutes on a Thursday. Now, maybe Friday I've got a 1-hour class. You don't have to have a class though. If you don't have classes, you're not enrolled in classes, try to make a longer study time once a week. And then maybe Saturday, if there was a class on Friday, we can do some homework or we can practice something for work. So now that we know we're going to cover the skills and in what kind of schedule, what are we actually going to do? Well, reading. There's so much that you can read. This is one of the easier things to practice on your own. There's books, there's journal articles, there's news articles, magazines, anything that interests you and in line with the topic. So reading the latest fashion magazine probably isn't going to help you as much as reading a mining magazine. Listening. Now, there's lots of different ways you can listen. You can do listening from watching the news on TV or watching movies. Probably not going to help your vocabulary for the industry as much watching a movie. But while they are valid listening activities, be very aware that most of the information you get when you are watching a video, even TED Talks, anything, it is visual. So I do recommend challenging yourself by throwing in podcasts or radio shows. Now, you don't have any visual help. You can only get the information from listening, and so that really focuses your skills on listening alone. Now, writing. Writing can be really easy. If you need to use this for your work, you can spend 15 minutes practicing writing an email that you need to write. And don't just write it once, but review the language, deconstruct it, put it back together, try and write it in a different style. Challenge yourself with writing, not just write something and be done with it. If you don't have that opportunity to write emails in English for work, you can do writing courses. You can maybe find a mentor within your industry that you can do some writing activities with, and they can give you some feedback. But you're not going to get big improvement in your writing unless you get some feedback. So blogs are a great way. You can say, I'm practicing, anyone want to give me some feedback? There are some nice Facebook groups, whatever, to get some people who are pretty genuine in helping. And speaking, that does seem to challenge people the most, but it's not impossible. There are lots of opportunities that you have to speak. What you can do, and this will actually tie listening in really well, is you can even just start repeating someone else's speech. Try and copy the way they speak, the way they pronounce their words, the way they stress their words, the rhythm that they speak with, and just get comfortable with that before you speak with other people. But English is a form of communication. You will need to practice speaking. There are lots of groups that you can join for speaking. If you want to learn to do presentation speaking, there's things like Toastmasters. There's speaking programs like my speaking program, where I have a 4-week program for 10-minute a day speaking activities, and you'll get feedback. You'll get feedback from me to help with that. It doesn't need to be my program. There are lots of different programs around. Google's your best friend there. But if you've got someone who you can talk to, someone from the workplace, maybe a native speaker or a fluent speaker that you can speak with, ask to have a coffee for 10 minutes and practice your English, and ask them to give you feedback. It's the best way to improve, even if it's terrifying. So make sure whatever you do, it's enjoyable. It has to be fun, or you're not going to stick with it. If you need more ideas, more help, I do have an ebook for purchase. You can get a walkthrough checklist, and it will give you lots of information about every single step. When you're reading, what are you looking for? What should you be focusing on? How do you structure it to be effective? And there's an added ebook, buy one, get one free. The second ebook is my list of resources that are free online. The ones I think are great, really helpful, and you don't have to do all the searching. They're all available there for you. Link for that is in the description below if you're interested. But even if you just want to chat, you know where I am. Send me a message and I can try and help you along the way as you build your own program. If you found this helpful, please hit like and subscribe, and you will be notified when I release more videos along the lines of this one.